and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock! Ray! Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks! Yeah, do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for week 8 of Wrestling Art with Chris Things. I am Chris Things, your host once again this week and every week. We're back here for our match of the week edition of the show. The episodes where I pick my favorite match that I happen to watch that week. I make an art of it and we have a little chat-ski about it. Now, you might be saying to me, Chris, this show is just the match of the week at the moment. You haven't released any artist interviews for quite some time. And I would say, hey buddy, I don't appreciate the tone, but I'm working on it, okay? I'm hustling, I'm putting the things together here, and I am lining up some very, very talented artists that we're going to be interviewing on this show. So you stay tuned, because I think there'll be a very special announcement coming your way next week on that topic. So it's not just all Chris talking about his art. We do talk to other artists, okay? Let's just put that out there. Now, later on in this episode, we got a very exciting match of the week to talk about. Bout between Alex Shelley and Bandido from Prestige Wrestling from 2022. Tremendous match, but more about that later. We got our little about what Chris has been doing segment. That this is a thing now. I've gotten some nice little feedback about this part. I don't know why. I mean, it's nice. I'm not going to complain, but anyway, that's off and away. Let's get to this. So my week. So we came out of the big Oddities and Curiosities Expo, which again, as I mentioned last week, bloody incredible experience. And I definitely am looking to do a whole lot more of that stuff. I'm kind of putting together my 2024 schedule at this time. So looking to lock in as many of those in-person kind of events as possible. I think at this stage, looking at it, for my art career, that kind of stuff is really important. Just getting to have that kind of like in-person, face-to-face opportunities where I'm getting to chat with the people that are, digging my art and getting to talk to them about it. Because, I mean, any other artists out there, I guess something that, we all should know is that, that we are the best salesperson for our stuff, really. And if we're not gonna be telling people how rad it is, who is? We can't just leave this up to bloody Bob to be telling people. I mean, Bob might be a bloody great marketing dude. I don't know, but I don't want to leave it up to him. No, you got to be able to talk about your own art, So that's something I'm trying to do more. In-person Chris Things stuff at 2024. I'm working to lock that down. So we'll have some more on that later. Another exciting thing that I've got coming up is I don't think I mentioned this on the show yet, but the new edition of Way of the Blade. Yeah, I am a published, very very appreciative and proudly published author. My first book, Way of the Blade, 100 of the greatest bloody wrestling matches in history, was such an incredible growth experience for me. I honestly think my art got so much better from having done that and the challenge of having done that. And obviously just so cool as well to be able to see that book in so many people's hands and pictures and all that. It honestly meant so much to me. So I'm just beyond tickled pink to be able to tell you about the sequel to this. This isn't just any old sequel either. We may have more of a traditional part 2 down the road, but this is a very special edition where it is a collection of the greatest bloody matches in AEW history. Yeah. So that is sick. As going through that project, I'm right at the tail end of it now, but that was such a fun experience. Getting to watch so many amazing matches that you almost kind of forget about a little bit. We get spoiled a bit these days of how many red matches happen. But yeah, so cool. I actually had a little last minute addition between you and me to the book that we just had in the last week. So I actually got to jump back into the project after we all completed it and did the cover and everything, and chuck in a couple more illustrations, which was quite fun to do. So that was great. I'd love to tell you which match and all that, but gotta stay a little bit hush hush on this stuff. But we will have a lot more exciting details coming to you in the near future about the release of Way of the Blade, the AEW edition. In the near future, looking early 2024, when you should be able to get that one in your hot sweaty hands. So keep an eye out there. That's been a real fun thing, and then something that I'm super excited about to start the year. On that front, we've got a couple of Way of the Blade print skis up from the original book on the christhings.com.au website right now, available to purchase. And I think in the final lead up, let's kick this into the next gear and then get a whole bunch more of those up. I think build up that anticipation a little bit. I think that'd be a good thing to do. So Way of the Blade, and then the other thing that I've been working on is a very fun little project. I've done a little bit of a collaboration project with the extremely talented wrestling video artist IQ Wrestler, where they have a highlight video coming up of, to me, possibly the greatest wrestler of all time, Terry Funk. So you knew that I had to be involved in this. So we're working together, and I've actually got some artwork that's coming out with the release of that highlight video. So I'll definitely be sending that your way in the near future as well. But super excited about that. If you know anything about me and my wrestling tastes, you likely know how much love I have for the great man that was Terry Funk. So yeah, just my privilege to be part of that one, and I hope I did Terry proud. But yeah, that's a little bit of a snapshot for this week. I think that's enough of me, bullshitting on. Let's chuck over to I believe I've got a gentleman on the line who wants to talk some Alex Shelley versus Bandido. All right, take it away, Chris. Okay, let's get going with it. I have a gentleman on the line right now. I don't need to do quite as a big elaborate introduction, since this is our kind of semi-regular co-host at this stage, I would say. But welcome back to the show, the former co-host of Grown Men Watch This Shit, the esteemed Mr. Jaims Vanderbeek.
Woo! You throw around the term gentleman pretty liberally, I suppose.
Maybe.
But I appreciate it. I'm gentlemanly, I guess, to a certain extent. Thanks for having me once again for your wonderful art and wrestling podcast.
Oh, thank you for coming on, my friend. Yeah, I've tried to up the art bit a little bit in the last couple episodes. We've done a little sort of intro what I've been having going on with the art deal in my week kind of thing. Because a lot of the time when we do these ones, we just kind of talk, about the match and the wrestling and such. But I think it's been a good vibe. So now I think I'm finally achieving a little bit more in my my attempt to do the wrestling and art. And I even have a new artist guest for the curator one that I got coming up shortly. So it's all on
Very
and
nice.
popping, man.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, but no, thank you for coming back on, dude. I always enjoy our chatskis. How's life been, man?
Oh, not bad, not bad. We had a recent SOS Pro Wrestling show this month, so I did some wrestling announcing live over the PA system, which is a lot of fun.
Ooh.
Yep, we have SOS. It's kind of, I don't know if I've talked about it here yet. I may have.
I don't think you have.
Oh, sweet. So it's a professional wrestling company, and it's kind of fun and silly, kind of like this old company I used to watch called 321, kind of a similar
remember
spirit.
321.
Yeah. So the whole gimmick of this show is everyone, even myself included, we're all stranded on this island and can't get off, and all kinds of wild shenanigans
So
occur.
this is the Gilligan's Island of wrestling?
Essentially, yeah. Essentially, we have like a whole group, like a secret cabal that runs the island with masked, or not masked henchmen, but Hawaiian shirt clad henchmen who just kind of hang out, called the Island Boys, and they're basically the cannon fodder for the main bad guy, who's Dante Smythe, this goth guy. And I do, announcing, me and my buddy Cody.
That sounds
kind of a mixture of play by play and color commentary at the same time, because we're doing jokes and also calling moves.
Oh yeah, nice. That sounds tremendously ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah, the last show, it was called Land of the Lost, and we had a wrestler who is half man, half shark wrestle a monkey. That was
he
pretty kind of cliche.
A distant relative of John Tenter?
This gentleman's name is Derek Jaws, so I don't think so, but
right.
A big guy nonetheless.
Well, I hope that he got a tattoo to represent his love for sharks and wrestling for this character.
He's going to need to. He's a recent addition to SOS roster, so maybe if he, really falls in love with his half shark side, a tattoo would be in order.
I dig that. So, but so for yourself with the announcing duties, so is this so you're doing commentary as well as like the ring announcing kind of dig?
I should just say I'm just a commentator. Announcing is actually handled by our boy Young Fuego. But did I get to even do an entrance? Because we start off where Fuego comes out, gets everyone hyped, and then I get to do an entrance, and I come out to "Fame" by David Bowie, because and I go by Jaims Vanderbeek on the thing, so it's kind of like I am using Fame as, because he's a celebrity, this Jaims Vanderbeek character. But yeah, man, coming out to your own entrance music, even as a non-wrestler, is something everyone in life should experience, and unfortunately they will not.
You doing high fives on the way to the ring?
High fives. One time I started shaking everyone's hand, and I'm like, oh, I've committed to this bit, and I had to shake everyone's hand in the front row. I'm like, oh,
that's fantastic. just pull out your inner Nate Webb and like take 6 years on your way to the ring, shake every motherfucker's hand coming out there.
I didn't want to make anyone feel slighted.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
But yeah, we do it once a month. Next one is early in January. So we're on IWTV. So if you have it, you can check us out, SOS Pro Wrestling.
Oh shit, everyone. Get on that if you want some Gilligan's Island wrestling goodness. That sounds fantastic. So question for you on the commentary side of it. Have you got any kind of like commentary colloquialisms that you've kind of come up with? Any kind of like Gorilla Monsoon-esque kind of things? Any Jesse the Body catchphrases that you got going yet?
Not quite yet, but there's one thing we do on this little island that is kind of fun, is anytime there's a weapon or something, we always describe it as an island such and such. So like if it's a door or a chair, it'd be the island chair or the island door. So on the commentary we go, he hit him with the island chair, and everyone in the audience will then go, island chair. And it's a lot of fun because you could get, people love to play along. So you could like, he hit him with the island trash can, and everyone will go, island trash can. It's ridiculous what people pick up on. Like one time, oh, I go, ooh, salty cardboard, because somebody hit somebody with a empty box of popcorn and hit him in the face. I go, ooh, salty popcorn, and everyone started chanting salty cardboard. I'm like, what the fuck? You guys are weird, but this is a lot of fun.
Lovely. Now, is this in Tacoma?
Yeah, in Tacoma, there used to be a different commentary person, and he stepped away, so I filled in a role because I had previously did lead commentary when their lead commentary guy couldn't fill in. So now I'm with him as a team, and we do it once a month, and it's literally 7 minutes away from my house. So when they asked me if I wanted to do it, I'm like, as much as my nerves were telling me no, I'm like, I can't say no to this opportunity, especially with how close it is. It'd be ridiculous.
It's a dream, just from a laziness perspective. My gosh,
Dude,
you can't turn that down.
Hell no. It's like your dreams, one of your dream things to do, wrestling commentary, somebody's offering you the opportunity to do so, and it is a stone's throw from your home. Please go do this, dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. Man, well, that sounds lovely. And I assume with the whole fun kind of interactive vibe going on there, the alcohol is flowing freely at this event.
Indeed, indeed. We have a bar that's typically sponsoring some sort of charity action that's going on. Yeah, so we put into the community as well. And I want to make sure I mention my commentary partner. He's Cody
Please.
Von Whistler. Cody Von Whistler, he was also commentary at 321. He does a lot of commentary for local wrestling like Prestige that we're going to be talking about. He's not on this show, unfortunately. DOA and other local wrestling companies. So he's around everywhere and kind of my safety blanket. Like I feel totally nervous doing it when he's not around because he's so good and it kind of leads me along when I get nervous. So yeah, he's awesome.
Well, that's what you want. That's what you want in a commentary partner. You want someone to bring yourself out of yourself, you know?
Yeah. One of the keys is like you don't even know is like literally just sometimes asking for or throwing their name at the end of a sentence so they know to jump in, and like it's that easy. Like, yeah, just it's almost like a touch on the shoulder, like, hey, time to throw something in, bud.
Yeah. Is there anything that you noticed that, like, from doing this live commentary, that you've noticed a particular challenges that you never really kind of like thought about for other wrestling commentators until you were wearing the shoes?
I still bust balls about mispronunciation, but that stuff happens very easily. Like all wrestling commentaries, that's like one of the things I mainly make fun of is if they fuck something up or say something stupid. But it's so easy to do that stuff because you're just literally there's no script. You're just spitting shit out. Any random wrestling cliche that
There's
pops
no
into your
net.
mind. No, you're working out there live, brother. And then fucking, you don't want to like inadvertently say something too harsh where the wrestler gets annoyed, but most wrestlers are cool and they play along with the live commentary. I always suspected a lot of them wouldn't like it because they feel like these guys are trying to get over with their humor when we're trying to wrestle here, but everyone seems pretty cool.
Yeah, nice, man. That's delightful. It's just kind of funny that I mean, you were the first person I thought about with this match of the week, being in your kind of your home turf, this Pacific Northwest region. This was actually the first match that I'd really watched of Prestige Wrestling. I've heard like quite a bit about it, and you know they've actually got some great looking stuff on, and they're seeming they've broadened their horizons all the way down to running shows in LA as well. Is that right?
And on the other coast, man, they've ran shows, I believe, on the East Coast before. They've gone to Montana. They're kind of like Portland or Oregon's Defy Wrestling, but they lean even a little bit more into like the sports entertainment fun stuff, which is kind of rad.
Right.
I dig that. Like their promoter is sometimes like running angles on Twitter with a wrestler. They kind of did it like a conjunction shows with Wrestling Revolver where he was kind of feuding with Sammy Callahan. And I like I think that is fun. I enjoy when they can, take advantage of the sports entertainment side of things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Offers a little bit of something for everybody. I mean, the big thing that I noticed about them is like just putting to. I mean, being prestige wrestling, they are putting together some real like indie dream matches. Of like a lot of your companies, um, you walk a fine balance of like having the more experienced, big name talent that you're bringing in, versus you obviously want to give your locals a good bit of a good position as well,
Yeah.
and obviously give them more experience and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a fine line somewhere, but I think Prestige by the looks of it does a good job of that because you do have a lot of up and coming names, but then you do get a fucking stellar match like Alex Shelley versus Bandido for the Prestige Championship.
Yeah, they actually also started running shows that are just recently specifically about featuring a lot more of the local talent against the local talent. So yeah, you're 100% right. They got the interesting fly-ins plus focusing on the local guys without just having the local guys doing the job for these fly-ins.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, that gets pretty old fast, and the same way, I guess sometimes you do it the other way around of the fly-ins there to put over the local talent,
Every single
and then you
time.
never see him again, kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think it's good. I mean, they've got another. So the Roseland shows. These are just the ones that the Roseland Ballroom in Portland. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like their big show. Like they build to the Roseland shows.
Right, right, right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a cool looking venue. I really dig anywhere that's got like a nice kind of balcony. A bit similar to that the Defy venue that you're always shouting at.
Washington Hall. Yeah, I saw 311 at the Roseland. I've never seen wrestling there, but I saw 311. It's pretty sweet for my 311 fans out there.
I
you,
I'm
you
gonna
got you like
just
down with
out myself
311,
as being
friend?
dumb here. I didn't even know what 311 is. I'm a fool. What is this?
The band 311. You're unfamiliar with? Oh my goodness,
I am
that's
very
unbelievable.
unfamiliar. Oh
Shoot,
man, I've been
they're
living under
from
a rock, good sir.
they're like these jazz guys who started this reggae rock rap fusion thing that kind of I guarantee you've had to have heard songs from these guys before. 311 all mixed up.
Right.
Um Amber is the color of your energy. Champagne. Goodness gracious. I'm definitely brutalizing.
I'll have to do some homework after we finish recording here, and
I find
you'll
that
probably
crazy
be
that
right. I'll probably be like, oh
it didn't
yeah.
penetrate to Australia. They're worldwide, man.
I mean, is this like current music, a little bit
No,
older?
this is
What kind of
90s. Yeah,
generation would you say?
it's 90s, like 90s music.
Okay, sick. Well, we'll see. I'll let you know. I'll get back to you. But back to Prestige. Have you been to one of their shows before?
I have not. I've only watched it online. I can rarely get anyone who wants to roll down there who isn't already booked on a lot of the shows because I'm friends with wrestlers. So I don't want to drive
Right.
3 hours alone and then 3 hours back that night without some company, and I can't get anybody to go down there.
Yeah. Do you go to Portland much?
No, no, not too often. Every once in a while, I've gone to a couple shows, and back in the day, I used to take road trips down there with friends for just like the 311 I mentioned previously or other concerts,
Mm-hmm.
but no, not for wrestling too much. I followed down for Defy maybe 3 or 4
Right.
times.
Yeah, it was a bit of a geographic lesson for me when I came out your way that time. Geez, a few years back now, but I went to Portland because I'd always wanted to check it out. And then I think I caught a train from Portland up to you in Seattle. Beautiful train ride, might I say. I'd highly
Oh, I
recommend that
bet.
for anyone making the commute. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised how far.
Yeah, I'd go by train if somebody to go with me. I'm ADHD as hell, so I'll be sitting there going out of my mind, bored as fuck. Like somebody talk to me. I'm all alone.
Hey, the magical scene of professional wrestling, man. I'm sure someone would be there to have a chat, ordering a beer together, get talking,
I am not like you, friend, that just wants to strike up conversation. I guess we would have never been friends if you had not actually spoken to me first, because I'm not the guy to go up to somebody, hey man, what's your story?
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. But I mean, I can have my moments too. You know, I think we all can kind of sometimes get in a bit of headspace where you just feeling a little bit weird at a gig or whatever, and you're like, oh, I don't want to bother that person. I don't want to bother
Yeah,
that person.
for
But
sure.
most of the time, everyone's what they're going to be like, oh, sir, you're embarrassing both yourself and me by trying to start a conversation here. Like, people want to have a chat.
I'm not afraid somebody's going to be a big dickhead. I just, that'd be so funny. He's like, sir, please move on. This conversation is not going to continue.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Prestige is so close. I need to make it down there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I was your way, I'd be hitting up Portland as frequently as possible. But man, you got a whole ass scene going on there now between I guess West Coast Pro. How far is San Francisco from that region?
I mean, that would definitely be a plane trip more than a car ride. So quite a bit.
Right.
It's a 3-hour drive to Portland. So if you're gonna drive down to San Francisco, I imagine it had to be like 8 hours, if not more. I'm not sure 100%. I'm not a big world traveler.
Right.
I'm a homebody, friend.
That's kind of a bit similar to where I'm at in Brisbane. You know, we're up here to go down to Sydney. That's like about a 8 hour or so drive. There's some things in between, but you know, not a heck of a lot. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not leaving Brisbane all that often either, so can relate. But yeah, I kind of forget like how far away these things are from one another. When I look at it over there on a map, I'm just like, oh yeah, you're all just like tucked up there in that, you know, North California, Pacific Northwest little region, right?
Yeah, and I severely underestimated how far it is to San Francisco. Looking on the good old Google machine, it's like 14 hours. So that is a hell of a drive.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, no thank you.
Man, why can't we just have, you know, those like Japanese bullet trains that can get us everywhere? That should be no more than like a 3 hour bullet train ride.
Hell yeah. Fucking a bullet train it up. Scary as fuck, but I'd do it. Um yeah, but it's still even up in Seattle, we've got quite a few wrestling companies. Got Defy and then SOS, and then the company I used to work for, Without a Cause, has rebranded and came back as Peak Sports Entertainment, and they're back up in Everett. So
Oh,
we still got quite a bit of local wrestling.
man, that's a whole bunch compared to first time I ever remember hearing about Pacific Northwest wrestling scene was hearing like Brian Alvarez talking to fuck, what's his name, the father of the young man who's doing a lot of rad shit in AEW, Nick Buddy Wayne.
Yes.
Yeah, Brian Alvarez talking to Buddy Wayne about kind of the Pacific Northwest scene at the time, and I guess the dying remnants of what used to be an awesome territory with Portland wrestling, and then it being sort of like just this almost like scene that was so hard to try to break out of for a lot of the dudes in it. And yeah, a lot of kind of local talent, not many shows, and it was so hard to try to break out of that Pacific Northwest bubble. But now it sounds like there's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and a lot of that has to do with the aforementioned or previously mentioned 3-2-1 and Defy just kind of stoking the flames and all the embers, and eventually caught a lot of fire out here, and people want to come out and wrestle out here. We just had GCW, we've had AEW run out here recently, so yeah, it's pretty rad.
Awesome. I'm happy to see it anywhere where you see sort of a scene kind of light back up again. It's really cool. But man, I would love to come out your way again sometime. I'm kind of looking at my 2024 schedule. Looking to see if I can maybe lock in some expo kind of things where I could sell my wares at coming up next year. And I was just wondering whether I might be able to squeak in a little Seattle visit, perhaps.
That would be dope if you can make it out here. You probably wouldn't want to stay at my home, but you have a place to stay if you need. I'm just not close to the city, and I know you'd probably want to enjoy the city.
I mean, you could do both. I'm all up for saving some money.
There you go. We got a crazy dog on the podcast.
Yeah, another run in from the dogs, as the listeners of the Grown Men Watch This Shit podcast would remember fondly. But yeah, dude, we have a match to talk about here. So had been this Alex Shelley versus Bandido match. Sometimes you have a match that's been on your watch list for a little while, where you're like, this seems very up my alley. I definitely intend on watching this. And then, life gets in the way. And then somehow you're like, how has it been like more than a year since this was added to my watch list where I still haven't seen it? And that's what happened here. I was going through my tabs on my desktop computer, and might I make a really bad admission. I am a maniac when it comes to having too many tabs open all at once. Just between, just quietly.
Wait a minute, you're going back and seeing tabs that were open a year ago still on your tabs right now? And this is not a bookmark. This is an actual open tab?
Yeah, this is the fuck up system I have, because I sometimes will go through and do a tidy up, save those tabs into bookmarks. But the thing that happens when I do that is I'm never fucking going back to that bookmark. Out of sight, out of mind, dude.
Well, how is that not with the tab?
So, once it's gone, it's gone. So
never mind.
Well, with the tab, at least I have the bit where I'm going through and I'm like, man, this fucking 82 tabs that I got open is not going good for my computer right now. I got to do some tidying up. And then when I do some tidying up, I'm like, oh shit, Alex Shelley versus Bandido. Let's watch that. Shit.
Yeah, in the show, the commentary team was talking about how this is a dream match in most places. And then they mentioned on the same commentary that this match has occurred other places in the country. I'm like, is it still a dream match at that point in time, Chris? I feel maybe it can be, because the people still haven't seen it.
Different territory, right?
There you go, 100%.
For the territory, for sure. I think this one only took place once prior to this. At PWG, from my research, the prior year, the 21st of November of 2021, and then we had this one.
Actually, speaking of PWG,
Jordan,
one of the commentary team members, do you remember him from PWG? He was that little kid with blonde bleached hair that was hanging out with us a lot at both Reseda and also later at the Globe.
Oh shit!
Do you remember that little gentleman?
I have to see his face.
He was that little hyper, I think he was 12 or 14, and just hanging out and so personable and charismatic. You're like, this kid clearly wants to do something in the world of broadcasting. But yeah, now he's a commentator for a bunch of places.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that. That is the great journey of what is independent wrestling, right? People flow on from just coming to the shows to working their way in, and then sky's the limit.
Yeah, and then calling matches for personally one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Alex Shelley. So that's pretty fucking cool for him. I got to call an Alex Shelley match too. I felt pretty sweet.
Oh shit! What was that one?
Without a Cause, Alex Shelley versus Daniel Makabe. I'm not the greatest commentator, but hey.
Oh man, that sounds like it would have been tremendous.
The match was tremendous, yes indeed.
I have a feeling there would have been some absolutely lovely technical wrestling and submission work going on in that bad boy.
You would not be wrong.
I would have been honestly shocked if they just decided, you know what, we're going to do a match without a single submission move in this.
It's all smash mouth.
Pleased that they didn't.
Just a lot of kicking and punching.
Yeah. But man, Alex Shelley for sure. I've been a big fan of that dude since I want to say when I first saw him in Ring of Honor. Back in the day, that sort of Gen Next era. and then just popped off to be one of my favorite dudes in TNA back in the day. Paparazzi Productions, and then of course the Motor City Machine Guns just having like such a massive effect on the overall direction of tag team wrestling, like up till now. Like those dudes, I mean, I guess they. What do you think? Like, in a sense, they do get a lot of flowers, but at the same time, they somehow still feel underappreciated to me. What is that?
I agree. It's because they're so good, and even though people do put them over a lot, it's still not enough because they're both so tremendous, and their tag team, like the chemistry, is off the charts. It's and the first time I saw Alex was also in ROH, but he was like going by Baby Bear because he was in some gimmick where he was
I
like
remember this.
falling around some chick. I forget who it was. It might have been Lacey or it might have been Daisy Hayes. I forget who it was. One of those ROH early female wrestlers. But yeah, Baby Bear. And then yeah, Generation Next. Oh man, what a group. Austin Aries, Roderick Strong, fucking
Jack
Jack
Evans.
Evans, and then you good old Alex Shelley. Whew, what a group. Too bad fucking Aries is such a dope because that would be a great team to bring together again in AEW.
Oh man, even if it was just on one of like a bizarre WrestleMania weekend show, you know, they always want to do some fun throwback, get the team back together kind of shit, or on a TNA show or something. Man, I would absolutely love to see that. I mean, I don't know. I feel I don't whatever with the Austin Aries stuff, but I mean, I always hope that people can get back on the straight and narrow, and you'd be like, hey, remember I used to be a rad wrestler.
I don't think anybody's ever said this guy is terrible at his job. They just think he's a dork as a person. But yeah, yeah, I agree 100%. I still would think he'd be tremendous to see actual perform in the wrestling ring as long as he keeps his mouth shut.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match that where we watched is a very very Alex Shelley match, and I
Yes.
expected a lot more lucha that we didn't get because it totally, yeah, it was a very very Alex Shelley match.
Well, I'll agree with you there, and I'll simultaneously disagree. So I'll give a little yes and no there. I think
Oh,
I think we
controversy.
yeah we were getting the I don't know something there. I jumped off that. I was going for some sort of saying and I
Hey,
forgot it halfway, but whatever.
nice try.
Um, very professional. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I think while we didn't get like what a lot of people sort of envision as like your classic kind of like lucha libre high spots kind of match of the kind of stuff we see from like Commander and Dragon Lee or those kind of guys.
Like, you know,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Vikingo is like probably the top one of this example for
yep.
sure. But like the sort of subgenre of lucha libre that I've come to love the most is something called like llave style lucha libre or llaveo.
The grappling
Um,
stuff.
yeah, so like that real submission based version of lucha libre, like your kind of stuff that you'd see like in those awesome Negro Navarro versus Solar matches, or like a Blue Panther or Hechicero, or any of those kind of dudes. Skyder, going back to Shikara and all that kind of stuff. But so just that awesome wacky submission work that just is so bizarre but so amazing at the same time. And that was my favorite thing about this match, or at least from the early portion of this match. I thought it was kind of like a Yaveo showcase. Right down to there was a point when I think Shelley got like a cording hold with the arm, and then he took the other arm and wrapped it underneath, and then almost had like a double one, which I thought was really cool. And then Bandido had this
Yeah, he had
sweet.
like a double. He had an arm bar on both arms at the same time, and they're face to face. Yeah, that was an interesting lockup.
Yeah, so cool. And then Bandido had a really cool counter to that, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff in this sort of like opening part to where I was just like, man, I just absolutely adore this style of lucha libre so much.
Yeah, it was super cool. Yeah, I probably did misspoke because I was meaning more of the high flying. I do know that there's plenty of lucha with the mixing up of the exchanges of the grappling and chaining all that together. So yeah, 100%. You are correct on that. I was just with Bandido's history, I was expecting fucking bouncing off the walls, and no, he tried to show he can match pace with Alex as far as grappling technique is concerned.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was so great. But I mean, to your point as well, this match and both of these guys are like such a great example of like the meshing of styles and different like interesting experiences like across the wrestling globe. Like you look at all of the different places these dudes have been from, like um from the indies, of course, but through Japan to Mexican wrestling, just so many different places and styles and influences, and then it all sort of like comes together, and like this match I thought was a really good example of that, in that it sort of started out in this kind of like like Mexican wrestling submission based kind of approach, and then sort of like devolved a little bit into more of a classic modern independent wrestling style one, with
Yep.
Shelley taking more of the rudo or heel kind of approach with some shortcuts and getting a bit more of his rough stuff on. And then going into the finishing sequence, that had a lot of sort of like nods to sort of Japanese wrestling, and just bringing the whole thing all together. And I don't know, it's a weird thing. I'd really love to see that. It's like I feel kind of lucky as a wrestling fan when you see that kind of amalgamation of styles on display in such a high level.
And there's so many guys. Well, I won't say a ton, but there's a lot of guys who actually can do it nowadays. It's not like few and far between as so much as it was before ROH started out. Like we've kind of seen people watch the stuff that Alex Shelley can do and develop that into other interesting styles. This guy is such a trendsetter. Like so many people owe their careers to just mimicking Alex Shelley.
Yes.
It's pretty ridiculous. That one of the parts of this match that I thought was incredible was the neck bridge with Alex. Like I honestly,
Oh man,
I thought that would have been the perfect thing for you to have done art wise. What did you do for this one? I didn't even see it yet.
So I know the exact spot that you mentioned. I actually made note of it. That sweet one where he was sort of like had him in like a his legs were like tucked between his legs, and he had the wrists going for like a pin, and then he like,
and they kept doing the shoulders, both shoulders back and forth. The ref trying to count him down, and then he bows up on his neck. And then the commentary team attributed that to Bandido somehow. It's like Bandido bridges him up. Like, no, Alex is popping up on his neck like a fucking badass. And then with incredible core strength, he does a fucking sit up and gets right in the guy's face. That was so cool.
Yeah, so rad. The one that I definitely was thinking about that for what you were for the potential moment that I illustrated for this one. But the point of the match that was quite early on that brought me like the most bloody joy was something so simple, but that spot where Bandido has Alex Shelley in like a head scissors, and then Alex Shelley like picks him up to kind of get out of it, and then Bandido does that awesome like hip swivel headstand takeover from the head scissors, and it was like so perfectly done. But even more so than that, the moment when you're like, this is a cool crowd, it got just a fucking insane pop that I like absolutely adored. Like the pop that this like head scissors headstand takeover got, like it was basically got like a standing applause, like someone just hit a fucking flipping Rana off the top rope.
Didn't he hit a couple, like two of those on him too? Like back to back?
Yeah, but the crowd was just so there for it, and I was just like, that was the moment where I was like, I am so invested and into this match, and like the whole vibe of this, especially like with the crowd being so into something so simple but so well done like that. So that was where I was like, all right, I think that's what I'm gonna do for the match illustration.
Good choice. Yeah, this crowd was hyped. They ended up tipping the guys mid-match like a bunch of dorks. Like we wait until the end to do that part. The referee quickly picked up the money. This ref actually, he's a local referee I haven't seen in a while, but he is the one that I believe that got roughed up by the Parks up here at Defy. Remember hearing that
Oh
story?
shit! I remember that controversy. LA Park still hasn't been back to the territory after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, one thing I noticed because he attacks the mat with his hand when he counts the 3 count. If you didn't notice, do you see how dusty?
It
this
reminded me of
fucking
Lucha Underground, dude.
like dust came up like a cloud every time he hit the mat. It was wild.
I loved it. That's such a cool. That's so funny. That was the thing that I noticed as well, and I was like, man, I really miss Lucha Underground. It got me almost thinking of like what to do a Lucha Underground rewatch just by seeing the powder come off of the mat.
Who cares if somebody gets staph infection? Every ring should be dirty.
Yeah, exactly. Stop being selfish, guys.
Yeah, bastards. Another part that I thought was cool because you never ever see it is toward the end. Alex countered a Mahistral cradle just by kind of saying, "Nope, we're not going all the way through on this," and just stucks him. Like I never see anybody actually stop the Mahistral mid move, and he just did. He's like, "Fuck this shit."
There's like so many little clever things, like original ways of countering stuff that you see from Alex Shelley specifically, because if you've like being just such a master, and it's just like little things, and it's like, I guess from sort of wrestling school, there's certain ways that you're, taught to counter stuff, and so a lot of the time we see guys just like do the exact same kind of counters. But Alex Shelley like really strikes me as the kind of the guy to be like, you know what? I actually enjoy being creative with this kind of thing, so I'm going to do this a little bit different, and I really appreciate that. And I think that's something that makes him a really special wrestler to watch.
Yeah, it's cool, especially like your opponent has to be receptive to things that may kind of make them look dopey in a way, and it's not you don't look the most dopey when that occurs, but it's something that no one ever reverses this. How are you the guy that get this reversed? Yeah, but it's fucking tremendous and very creative.
Yeah, for sure. There was like a bloody beautiful series of counters into a seatbelt pin by Shelley. That's one of those sort of like classic lucha libre pins. But he just did it so well, and again, like a testament to the fact that this guy's just like such a master of all styles. Like he did it more, as if not more seamlessly than you'd see dudes do it in Arena Mexico.
And we're kind of really fluffing up Alex here, but it's crazy how he's just now, since he came back from his time off where I think he was focused on become like a physical therapist, but now that he's back, everyone's like 100% giving him his flowers, and he's getting titles and getting a good run back in TNA, which, speaking of, have we talked about how they're TNA again? That's fucking awesome.
I love it. The funny thing is, it's one of those things where I saw other people make mention of it. It's like, hasn't everyone kind of just been calling it TNA this whole time anyway? And I know I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, you try to correct Impact Wrestling. I meant no, just say TNA, guys. We're back to it. So yeah. But yeah, Alex deserves all his flowers, and he's really getting that. And yeah, getting an opportunity to actually call his match was. I never thought I'd be a play-by-play or a wrestling commentator, let alone getting to call matches for guys I really, really look up to and get to say hello to in the locker room. So, yeah, big ups to Alex.
That's really cool, man. Really cool.
Thanks, man.
But I mean, amidst all of this, and again, very happy to see Shelley like on top in TNA, like as the TNA Impact Wrestling, whatever it was at the time, champion. I really enjoyed that match that he had with Josh Alexander, by the way, on the Bound for Glory show. But yeah, so happy for him after taking some time off from wrestling and then coming back and just being on such a great run. But man, I don't want to shortcut or shortchange Bandido in any sense.
No, sir.
because
No way.
he is absolutely tremendous in this. And a thing that I made note of, there was a point where as we were saying, sort of through the match when Shelley gets more of his rudo on, and Bandido's kind of fighting from underneath, and then he gets this like sweet comeback. There's a point where I was just like, are there any like pure baby faces, like likable pure baby faces as good as Bandido in the world? I don't think
I
so.
don't think there's anybody who dislikes him. He's a close personal friend of my friend John Kraft,
Mm.
and he speaks the world of him. And I think this year would have been hot for Bandido if he didn't break his wrist and still is dealing with that fucking injury. So
Yeah, I saw
this
him
year,
post about that recently. It was so unfortunate, but I mean,
yeah,
I very much hope he comes back from that soon. It sounds like the surgery went well.
I think we'd be giving the same adulation to him for his year if that had not occurred. The guy is fucking tremendous. When he came to PWG, he just took off. Everyone fell in love with the guy because he got, like you said, babyface fire, tremendously athletic. The look is cool from his actual physique to the Bandido mask, like such an original thing. So yeah, he's got it. He's got like the 5-point star professional wrestler. He's tremendous.
Yeah, for sure. And he has like the awesome, like in addition to doing these crazy, beautiful like high spots and tornillos and all that kind of stuff, and obviously that the more technical side of wrestling that we're talking about. But then when he breaks out that just like fucking strongman shit.
Yeah, he's
Like,
crazy strong. He's crazy strong for his size. I was just about to say that.
so good. But yeah, he was just the perfect guy to come along for PWG during this like latest kind of incarnation of it when he came in. It was sort of almost like a bit of a transition period away from your dudes like Ricochet and the Bucks and Sexy Chucky T and all that kind of version of Walter and Matt Riddle and all that kind of dudes. I think Bandido was the perfect dude to come along for the perfect time, and I very much hope that he's a key part of it as well whenever they get back up and running.
Yeah. I could not see him not being. And then also, if he's back, Tony Khan's gonna want to run with that guy.
Oh yeah. It would be such a missed opportunity to not go all in with the push on him for sure.
All in?
I only realized I was doing a
Good
awkward
one,
pun
dude.
as I said it. I had a moment where I was like, do I go all in or all out? I don't know. So intentional there. I'm a very clever man.
I love it.
Oh man, but yeah, Bandito was just such a talented dude. Did you get to see any of his promotion that he was running himself in Mexico?
I did not. I was unaware of this thing.
Oh man, do I have a treat for you? Yeah, he was I think coming out of COVID, he started, and when ROH wasn't running anymore as much, he started running his own promotion, Big Lucha, and so he had his the Big Lucha gym associated with that. And he had a few different guys that kind of like came out of that and did rad stuff. But two of the main dudes that actually came from that promotion and from that school were Commander and Gravity.
Oh, right on. Big Lucha Jim would be a totally awesome name for a wrestler. Just some dude, Big Lucha Jim, just a redneck with a lucha mask on. It's fucking that'd be so killer.
I'm Big Lucha Jim.
What you need to do is one of these days find an awesome Bam Bam match to watch and then do art of, and then I might have to be interested in purchasing such said artwork.
Ooh, fuck yeah, man. I try to sprinkle some like a bit of retro stuff through it. I mean, I also like try not to think about it too much in that all it is like
It's you
legit.
having fun and then getting inspired by the fun you're having.
Yeah, like I'm watching matches, I'm always watching wrestling and it's legit just like my favorite thing that I saw that week. But yeah, I definitely need to go back and watch some classic Bam Bam. I've seen quite a few highlights of him recently in his Japan run. where he had all that rad series. I think like teaming with Doctor Death and working.
Team with Vader for a bit too.
Yeah, that crazy team of Vader and Beek Bam Bam.
Big Bad Dangerous. What a fucking name for a tag team.
Oh, tremendous. I mean, they had some great team names back at that time. Same era
Jurassic
as
Powers.
Oh, that's exactly what I was gonna say. You stole it out of my Miracle Violence connection.
Yeah, like what the fuck are we doing? These are fucking tremendous. There was actually we're on the old show we talked about how the Sendai girls, there was a couple awesome tag team names like Medusa Complex, which felt like in that vein, the crazy, awesome, what the hell are they saying? But it sounds badass and looks cool on a poster.
yeah, for sure. I definitely want a big Lucha Gym t-shirt as soon as.
Oh my god, I should draw some. Just overalls, big fat dude, but still sweet lucha mask. Maybe it's just a Mil Mascaras mask that he stole, no yob, you know?
Maybe it's a bit on the ilk of like the FBI from, Italy by way of Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm from Juarez, Mexico.
He accidentally wears his MAGA hat out and has to like quickly put that away.
Yeah, he's also MAGA. That'd be so funny. He claims to be Mexican and he's also MAGA. Yeah, look at me. I'm a bad hombre is what I am.
So good, man. Why are we not on the booking committee here? Come on.
Hell yeah. Honestly, with SOS, because it is so fun and goofy, I pitched an idea because we have a wrestler, and I'm going to go on off a tangent here. We have a wrestler named Casey Rasselhoff, and his whole gimmick is he is a lifeguard. And then we've also had a wrestling show where we had a Sasquatch. I'm not sure if you're familiar with our basketball team up here in Seattle, the Supersonics. They had a mascot, which was a Sasquatch. So we had him wrestle on a show. So I suggested we bring these two together, form a team called Bay Squatch, kind of like Baywatch. And I pitched it. They might do it. So this character I made up when I was 19, this Bay Squatch gimmick, which is a Sasquatch that's also a lifeguard. This is literally just happened by chance. It's something I made up a long time ago. Terrible lifeguard because A, he's covered in hair, so he can't swim very well. He gets waterlogged, starts sinking. He goes to the bottom. Poor guy. Number two, if he does rescue guy, big claws. So, he's trying to grab these people. They're flailing about. He's shredding them. He's cutting them up, dude. He feels terrible about it. But this is Bay Squatch. So I one day just came to me like, I need to pitch this. Bay Squatch is coming to SOS, I think.
I would love to see it, please. As soon as it comes to fruition, I need to see the visual of this. I mean, there better be quite a convincing Bigfoot outfit that they're wearing underneath the Speedo, I'm assuming.
100%. Yeah, we got a very, very good Sasquatch outfit. And then also, KC often has a fan along ringside, so his hair can blow in the wind. Just imagine this Sasquatch with all his hair blowing in the wind. Oh, it's going to be glorious.
That sounds so majestic. I love it.
Oh, you're telling me, brother.
Oh, please. Well, finishing up on back to the match. Did you notice the absolutely beautiful standing pendulum stretch into the Magistral that Bandido did?
Yeah, I did love it. It was normally they do it the other way, and he did it kind of backwards, which it gives it a cool, interesting look. I was hoping he would walk into the corner and just started hitting his head against the turnbuckle, because that's a favorite moment of mine. But either way, it was awesome, and I like how the commentary team was like, "He's seesawing him around the ring."
That was one of the moments I think the commentators definitely got the name of. I can't remember what they called that, but they definitely called it not quite the right thing. But again, I'm not here to cast stones. I'm not here doing commentary without a net.
Virgin.
So yeah, they're just doing their best. No complaints here. No complaints here. And then I thought the whole finishing stretch was just tremendous and so quintessentially Alex Shelley. And just that bloody beautiful like teasing the shell shock, and then finally hits the shell shock. Only the two, then straight into the Border City. fucking tremendous.
I will admit something 100%. This is the first time I realized he calls it the shell shock because his last name is Shelley.
Really?
It dawned on me this time because other people have used shell shock for news names like Ryback, but he has no shell in his name, so I never thought about it. And then he is shell shock. Oh shit, Alex Shelley. It's right. It was right there the whole time, dude.
I always assumed that, in addition to that, like it's a bit of a shout out to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know,
That'd be so that I would love that. That's awesome.
I mean, I'd
Shell
assume
shock.
he's probably the part of that same generation as us. So like, there
100%.
was fucking nothing cooler than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in the day.
Damn right. My dogs are named Bebop and Rocksteady. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, fucking tremendous. I collected all the toys, dude. Like even the backboards to them, because the action figures would come in. I would keep the backboards because like the art on them was so sick. I think that was one of the first kind of moments where I really kind of like was like, man, this is just visually fucking awesome. I remember this is a fucking a departure from the main thing.
Please,
but like I should definitely mention it. I got so into keeping these like backboards of the figures that I remember being as a kid. One time, I think I got one of these figures when I was at my nan's and my cousins were all over, and they got a bit overzealous and they like opened it up with me and they like tore the backboard like in like so ferociously opening it, and then I was like, I got so sad. I remember being a kid and like crying because this like backboard was like torn.
You messed up my cardboard.
And then I think but this has the most beautiful story end. So then I think they realized that I was like so upset. So they like redrew the backboard on like the torn bit of it. So like they drew it back onto the board for me.
They filled it in like the part that was gone. That's awesome.
Yeah. So great. It's just like that is a fucking went from being a real traumatic thing to just being like one of the nicest memories. I love it.
That's hilarious. I know what we'll do. We'll redraw it.
These little Aussies.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, it's bloody tremendous match, and this was one that I also thought got even. I messaged you when I was doing a rewatch of it because I watched it the first time when I drew it, and I watched it again to get a little refresher for us to talk about it. And man, even better rewatching it again. It just like stands out so much more, like just the little things that these guys are so good at,
This actually, after I watched it, I was like, I may have watched this show previously, but yeah, the match was fucking tremendous. So even if I did have to rewatch it, I just watched it earlier before we chatted, and I'm like, no wonder these guys are so good and at the top of their game. And Alex Shelley, again, I give you all the adulation in the world. And like, I'm not bullshitting. Everyone in wrestling nowadays owes so much to Alex Shelley because if they probably used something that he did.
Yep, no doubt. And also I want to say that I think the most Kevin Nash I ever enjoyed in wrestling was also involving Alex Shelley. So that's another gift that he gave us.
Hell yes, those segments were so good. And yeah, their chemistry together, amazing. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot. I got to watch those segments.
Oh man, I remember I used to watch, I can't remember what it was, but TNA used to have like a web exclusive show where they would have, Borash just interviewing different people backstage and have the magnificent Don West, just shilling shit left and right. Fucking, oh man, all of the praise in the world for Don West. But I was so sad obviously sad about how things happen, but also happy to see him go into the Hall of Fame. But that aside, I used to watch these online webisodes purely for the Paparazzi Productions segments. So tremendous.
Yeah, it was especially good because it subverted all expectations of Kevin Nash. Like his whole gimmick. I hate these little midget guys, and now he's like having the best comedy bits ever in wrestling. Some of the best bits ever in wrestling, in my opinion.
Yeah, so great. But anyway, if anyone hasn't already watched this match, bloody watch it. It's for free on YouTube.
On the
Again,
YouTubes.
I'd be shocked if you've listened to us talk about it for this amount of time and you haven't just already watched it yet. But I'd also heartily encourage you to check out internet independentwrestling.tv, where you can see all of the Prestige Wrestling. They've had a bunch of great stuff over this past year. I was looking them up, like some of the top matches on Cage Match. I bloody need to see the recent Alex Shelley versus Gresham match that they had. That sounded bloody incredible. And then they've got their upcoming Roseland 7 show that'll be taking place on the 5th of January that has 2 matches that I'm very enthused about. We've got Josh Alexander versus Timothy Thatcher, which
Ooh.
I think will be bloody tremendous, and a 4-way between Mr. Shelley, Chris Sabin, Kevin Blackwood, and Alan 5 Angels. That sounds very up my alley as well. So,
Something I saw may have been a tease by Will, who runs Prestige. He posted a picture of Blitzkrieg and didn't
Ooh.
say anything about it.
What?
Yeah, and so I don't know if he's trying to work on getting that lined up, but if anybody could do it, I honestly think he could. So wouldn't that be insane if we saw Blitzkrieg in 2024?
I could not think of a comeback to wrestling outside of like fucking the return of Monty Brown that I would be more enthused about than the return of fucking Blitzkrieg, dude.
I honestly had no idea who you were going to pull. I thought you were going to say a dead person because it'd be that crazy. But yeah, Monty Brown as well. That'd be cool. But Blitzkrieg, I would lose my shit because I count myself lucky enough to see a Blitzkrieg match live and in person.
Oh, jealous about that one, good sir.
Him and Juventud Guerrera at Spring Stampede, I think.
Damn, that was one of those
99 or
all-time
something?
great. Yeah, that was like probably one of the best things that happened during a bit of a bleak period for WCW. But like all the Blitzkrieg stuff was insane, and that match was just so much fun. It's just so wild how we just had this insanely white hot period of just coming out of nowhere, doing a whole bunch of rad shit, and then being like, you know what, guys, I'm a bounce.
Yeah.
Peace.
Not for me.
I mean, mad respect. That's like the most badass like way to leave wrestling that exists, but still.
And everyone who enjoyed his work still is like what could have been. Like everyone is like, what could have been with Blitzkrieg? And hey, I definitely think Will could pull it off. I might be just pulling this out of my ass because he just posted a picture of the guy. He didn't say anything, so fingers crossed.
Fuck, I'm sure even if he just came to sign some autographs, a lot of people would be very excited about that. But man, if that would have happened, holy shit!
Holy shit!
All right, well, I think it's time to close this bad boy down. Did you have any other closing thoughts on the match, good sir?
No, I please continue to make wrestling an excuse for us to chat. This was a tremendous match with 2 of my favorites, so you're making it easy in that regard as well. I'm not having to watch any trash.
Certainly.
But no, outside of that, I don't have any. Yeah. Let me plug my socials. What was it? Oh yeah, at Jaims Vanderbeek. That I got back. Thank God. That was a dark period when I didn't have it. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at Jaims Vanderbeek. Same name on all the other, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, all that bananas. And yeah, thanks, Chris.
Oh, dude, it's my pleasure. I get a lot of joy out of having you on, my friend, and getting to do a little chin wag. It's always a good time, and just if I have a match like this, I'm like, hey, this happened on your home turf. Of course, you're gonna be the fellow I'm talking to. So
yeah, and also one more plug ski is SOS. Sorry to interrupt, but we mentioned IWTV where you can watch the glorious Prestige. You could also watch us and listen to me call Silly Wrestling, where sometimes we have an octopus wrestle, Chris. Yeah, that's right, an octopus.
Oh, man, get on that. If you have a IWTV subscription going, why wouldn't you? Get your money's worth. An octopus, people.
Exactly. Like that'll either totally say, "Hey, that's not wrestling for me," or "That is wrestling for me."
Tremendous. Well, no. Thanks again, man. I'll give a few other plug skis for supporting the show, guys. I'm really appreciating how much everyone's digging it. I heard some really nice feedback lately. Really appreciate that. If you want to go to that next level, it helps a lot if you're officially subscribed to the show on the feed of your particular podcast platform, be that Apple or wherever else. So if you search for Wrestling Art with Chris Things, make sure you're subscribed on there. If you feel like doing a review as well, apparently that helps a whole bunch. So anyone that would like to do that will be great, and there's even a donation button on there. I'm not asking for anything here, but if anyone feels like shouting me a coffee, I wouldn't say no. But you can check out all of the updates on the show by following at Chris Things on Twitter. Obviously, same Chris Things on Instagram, where you'll also get to see all of my art stuff that I'm posting. And of course, christhings.com.au, where you can also buy the things and check out a whole gaggle of other stuff I got on there. Lastly, big thank you to the team at Social Suplex. They keep the generator going to where this podcast can actually reach the airwaves. So you can check out socialsuplex.com. They've got a whole bunch of other rad wrestling podcasts on there too. We've got the One Nation Radio. We've got Keeping It Strong Style, the New Japan podcast on there. We had young boy Josh Smith, co-host of that show on last week. That was very fun. And a whole bunch of other shit. So check out Social Suplex. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Really appreciate your time, and let's keep this chugging on. I'm very excited as well about a new wrestling artist guest that we have on the show coming up shortly. So keep your eyes out for that one. But thanks again, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.
I do the hammerlock. Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock. Everybody's doing it. Do the eye gouge. Yeah, do the eye gouge. Do the eye gouge, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the eye gouge. I do the eye gouge. Everybody's doing it. Okay, you turkey nuts.
Woo!
There we go.
Alrighty.
All done.